Hello, everyone. Welcome to this evening's conversation with my sisters. I am super excited. It's kind of a director's thing. We get to thinking about some stuff, and then when those thoughts become a situation where you just need to share it and get it out, you enlist some people who understand what you're talking about to help you convey it to the world. So tonight, Tonight, Conversations with My Sisters is actually my director sisters. My director sisters from the USA brand, Miss Full Figure USA, national brand. Our CEO and founder is Teresa Sparkle Randolph. Tonight, we have Perusia Jones Sharon, we have Sadiqa Holmes Bender, and Tierra Williams, and Latoya Francois, honey. We're about to get into some conversation because we want you to really, really understand some of the perceptions that we receive when it comes to the delegate process in the Miss Full Figure DMV pageant. So we're going to get right on to it. Let me bring my sisters in. They're going to be coming in one at a time. Hey, Perusia.
Hey, yes. Good evening.
Yeah. I'm good. Sadiqa. Hey, baby. And then, it won't let me get her, but I got her. Latoya. Hey.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, sisters.
I first want each of you just to introduce everybody to you and your division that you are responsible for. Pretty much, you are the director of for the Miss Full Figure USA national brand. All right, Perusia, we're gonna start with you, pretty lady.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Hope everyone is having an amazing evening and will enjoy this show as we get to really dig a little bit deeper into what the role of the director is and what the role of the delegate is. My name is Perusia Jones Sharon. I am the pageant director for Miss Full Figure North Carolina, Miss Full Figure South Carolina, and Miss Full Figure Virginia for Southern Virginia. And we have a pageant coming up. I'm excited about that too. May 15th. Be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Okay.
I love it. Sister Tierra down in Louisiana. Tell us about it, baby.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tierra Williams. I am the director for the Miss Full Figure USA Louisiana / Mississippi pageant, and I'm also the director for the Miss Full Figure USA Texas pageant. So be on the lookout for that because we're about to get that up off of the ground. Laureen, I'm super excited. I enjoy talking to you as my director, but most importantly as my sister. I appreciate you for getting us all together to talk about these different topics, and it should be fun.
Yes, it will be. You know I love y'all so much. I love y'all more than I can express. Sadiqa. Come on, Princess.
Hello, I am the director of Miss Full Figure New Jersey. My name is Sadiqa Benders. I'm better known as Princess D. My pageant is in December. As of now, we're recruiting for our new delegate for December. And again, I love being with all my sisters. I can't wait to see y'all on May 22nd. So I can't wait.
May 22nd, if you don't know, I'll just let you guys know. May 22nd, our 2019 queens from all the states have been waiting to get to nationals. And on May 22nd, that day, that wait is over. It is over. We're excited about that. Now introducing my sister from the sweet Georgia, the lady with the peach, Miss Latoya Francois. Go ahead, baby. Tell me about yourself.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Latoya Francois. I am the director of Miss Full Figure Georgia and Miss Full Figure Alabama. Look, when I tell you this, the South is shaking it up.
That's
We
right.
are shaking it up. I am originally from Louisiana. I was actually under the direction of Tierra Williams in 2017. Then I popped up and moved to Georgia. And look, I said I was coming to take Georgia over, and that's what I did.
Okay.
I love what I've been brought into, and I'm just excited to continue to move forward.
I am excited, ladies. And it's little old me, your DMV director, Miss Four Figure DMV pageant, honey, the Lorraine Ross experience. I am here, and we've been here, and we're currently celebrating our 5th year anniversary. Oh my God. I cannot believe it's been 5 years since I have been granted this opportunity. And since then, it just turned into something immaculate. Absolutely immaculate. And I know you all understand that because no one's younger than 3 years now. I think everybody is around that 3-year mark almost, right? Everybody?
Yeah.
Latoya, you look, you our baby, Latoya. Is you at 3 years?
3 years here. Yep. This will be the 3rd one in Georgia this year.
Amazing. So the reason why we came together tonight, because I really want to talk about the perception that people who look upon us think we are versus the reality of what we are. And then we want to think about the delegate perception as well, because when women sign up for this process, I can tell you I have received so many different ideas that they think is going to happen. And then when they become part of it, they're like, whoa, 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 slow down, horsey. And they're shocked. Let's talk about the first perception of a pageant that is just like modeling. How many times have you heard, oh, I thought I was just going to be, modeling because I want to be a model. That's why I wanted to do this pageant, Tiara, I'm going to bring that question to you, sweetheart, because you think about it. I'm going to start with you. Is that something you deal with on the first introduction of the pageant?
Well, I can use Latoya as an example because Latoya came from a modeling type of, she was a model. She did fashion shows. So what she had to do as a model and transition into a pageant girl and learn the different techniques, because we do get some ladies that are models and they have to learn the difference between the two because it's not the same and it's not easy. Yeah, we wear a crown, we smile and we do everything else, but it's a lot of work other than, just modeling. So I have gotten a few like that, and Latoya was a good example that I used.
Well, we talk about it and we say how it is a lot of work. Let's jump right into that work. Latoya, since we started with the conversation of you transitioning from a model to a pageant woman, you noticed a couple of things that's changed. The first thing that changed is your walk, correct?
Right. Absolutely. Because look, let me tell you, I was ready to get the runway and give that sway. And she was like, yeah, no, stop that sway and that bounce. And I was like, no. So, yeah.
All of us pretty much have some fashion background and runway background that are directors in this pageant. Perugia, you and I talked about there is a thin line between modeling and being in a fashion walk, but it is a line. You want to kind of like elaborate a little bit more on that?
I think the thing is, when you are in a fashion show, you're presenting someone else's clothing, and you're really trying to help them sell that garment. But when you're in a pageant, you're promoting yourself. You are really hoping that the judges, the audience, really get to see you shine in that moment. You're promoting your confidence. You're promoting your energy. You're promoting your amazing spirit, And a lot of people get it kind of misconstrued, I guess, like you said, that they feel like, oh, it's just another fashion show. Pageantry is so much more. And I'm sure a lot of people have had an opportunity to be able to see Miss America and Miss Universe. And for you to not to then think that it's not what it is. It makes you question, first of all of our information is on our website, and it's clearly states what it is that we do, so yeah, it's an interesting dynamic, to say the least. But it's two different beasts, if you will. And it's a lot more involved than just running up and down the runway,
Yeah, so and Sadiqa, for you, you're in like one of the fashion capitals in between New York, you know what I mean? So I'm sure you have a lot of women who comes through you like, oh, I just want a model. I really just want a model. And then you really have to sit them down and say, okay, let me hold you by your shoulders and listen, this is what this is about. This is not just modeling. Would you say that?
Absolutely, because they're so used to that bounce and want to just, we don't go old school, that job rating down. I say that because I had an older lady that told me I am seasoned. I'm like, yeah, but you can't do all of this down the runway. You got to walk with grace. You got to stand up tall. And, it's about you, not what you got on. They see that. But it's the woman that's behind the cloak. You know what I mean? So it is a little difficult, especially between the ages of 18 and 25, because they want that bounce, and when they go down the runway, they're trying to walk to the music, so they start bouncing to the music. So then when you be like, this is what our workshops is for. We got to push back. This isn't what you do. You got to stand up tall, put your hands right, no swaying, a little grace. So it takes practice.
A lot of grace. A lot of grace.
So it takes a lot to take them out of that runway mindset to put them in that pageantry mindset. But once they get there, they good.
One of the things I really want to, and I started with the walk because it's one of the first things that we see when a young lady come and audition for the pageant, because we want to see you walk. We want to see how you carry yourself when you're moving down the runway, right? We need to see what we're working with. And one thing that some of the girls get into is that face. You have to change that face from trying to be like I am, that very firm face to a soft, gentle face. You have to hold a smile on your face your entire time that you're the presence of the judges and those that are looking upon you. So that's some of the things that we also train in our program, and I'll get to that too. But I really wanted to talk about, the fashion versus the pageantry. Do they help each other? Heck yeah. But you have to know how to balance those skills to make sure that they help you and not hinder you. Very important. Also, we are a sisterhood. We have been saying that for God knows how many years. And in order for a sisterhood to actually build, you have to put in the time with those women. Would you agree?
Of course, yeah.
So because of that, we have a program, and some pageants don't have this program, where your pageant fee includes the workshops and the teaching that you need to be successful on pageant day.
Right.
Let's talk about that, because I have some women who, of course, you have people soliciting them to be pageant coaches. Well, we have those things in place, and that will make our program unique because of what we do for what you spend, because time is expensive, period. It's very expensive. Latoya, since you've been a director, when you came in and you start to develop your program, what did you see that was most important for the women to start to learn about their journey?
I found that it was important for the ladies to find themselves through the journey, because some of them come in with the thoughts of, oh my God, this is going to make me more beautiful, or it's going to make me feel more beautiful. So in my program and things, I have empowerment days or whatever. Be like, you're going to hit some days where you're going to be ready to quit, but your director, your sisters, your mentors are going to be here to get you through. And we're going to remind you every single time, you are beautiful, and you have to be the person, you have to be the first one to say that you're beautiful. Don't look for somebody else to tell you you're beautiful. Don't look for these judges to tell you you're beautiful. You have to know it yourself. So that's one of the main things that I focus on with my girls in my workshops.
Tiara, when you talking to your women that are preparing for this journey in the beginning, I'm stay with the beginning, because we're dealing with perception now. The perception in some of these women's mind is that, oh, I go in here and I get to a couple of classes and then I'm good, right? But that's not the case. What is some of the things that you start off with?
Self-discipline. You have to be committed. You have to be focused throughout the process, because you never want to lose yourself throughout the process, because it's a long process. It's a lot of work. And so you have to be the woman that you claim to be, when you had auditions. So it's just making sure that you have the drive, and if you really want it, and you just have the drive for it. When I say self-discipline, I mean, we have practices, but what do you do outside of the practice? Do you take the extra time to work on the things that we have went over at the workshops? To where if you needed help with that, did you actually go home and work on it? So I would say self-discipline and just commitment in whatever that you do, and always just give 100%. Because sometimes, as Latoya said, it can get hard, and you do have days where you want to give up, but you don't never want to give up on yourself and lose yourself throughout the process.
Princess D, Sadiqa, what would you say the biggest perception that you have to overcome as a director when you're in the beginning of your process?
Pretty much the same. It's more or less letting them understand, like, yes, I am that director, but I'm just like you. I've been in your shoes. You understand? So I'm not going to have you do something that I haven't done. And at the end of the day, we're going to do this together. You're not alone. Yes, most pageants will give them some papers and be like, show up this time. This is what you need. And this is what we want. But we don't do that. We work with them throughout the process. But in order for us to work with you, you have to work with me. You understand? Like, we have to have that type of communication when you're having those bad days. I don't care what time it is. All of us, we all know none of us sleep. So just pick up a phone, tell us what's going on. That is what your sister is here for. So you will also have that one person that will look at the next girl that's been in modeling or did pageantry, and then you have the one that never did anything. So they self-esteem kind of goes less because they're looking at this person. But you can't do that, because at the end of the day, you may shine. But if you start taking in negativity, you know what I mean? It's going to be harder for you throughout the process. So at the beginning, we shake it all off. We all queens. At the end of the day, someone will be crowned, but we still queens, and you work your butt off to get there. You know what I mean? So,
I agree. I think what happened is, and we all do it because we're women. We do look to the women to the left or the right of us. But however, when we do that, we distract ourselves from looking at the one that's looking at our back in the mirror. So when we do that, it takes away from our abilities to focus on what we need to do to be successful in the journey that we set before us. So one of the things that I say to the women in the beginning of the process is that, yes, this is bottom line a competition, but this is a bigger scale of building relationships, building building yourself in certain ways, growth in the process as well. And at the end, the best woman wins. That's just what it is. And the rest of us is to support her because we done seen our work go through this, right? But the perception is you come in and it's a doggy dog world. Like, you know what? Oh no, I gotta beat her. Let me see what she wearing. I got no ma'am. No ma'am. Not at this particular pageant system. Because if you do with your work that you're supposed to be doing in the beginning for yourself, you'll be amazed at how successful you will be in this process, even if you do or do not win the crown. But the perception is I gotta be guarded. You see what I'm saying? Which is natural. Would you say, Perugia, in any type of competition? And as directors, it's our job to show them something different, but we do need them to be willing to receive.
Of course. Of course. I think the biggest takeaway is, if we come in as directors and really express the importance of sisterhood, really express the importance of building your sister up. I think sometimes that people get lost in the term competition. Everybody wants to wear the crown, but at the end of the day, unfortunately, that's not going to be the case, so I think the biggest thing is always just trying to build that bond, and so they can support one another regardless of who wins or not, and if you go in, I always tell my girls, if you go in expecting to win, you will lose sight of what it is that we're trying to accomplish here within our individual divisions. And that is, we want to make sure that you have an outlet, you have people to go to, you learn something about yourself through the process, and you gain a new confidence, a new air about you, so
I'm gonna throw it out there because you said it a little bit early, the word research. Okay, we have plentiful of information all over the place. Our IG pages, our Facebook pages, our websites gives you a lot of information about what this pageant is about. And what I have seen is that I don't think a lot of people are doing their research. They see it and they just want to be a part of it. And then when they get in it, they're like, I said earlier, whoa, horsey, hold on, horsey, wait a minute, what is happening? Because I know in the research that I did when I was looking for the Miss Full Figure USA pageant, which I didn't know I was looking for, but looking for something for me to be a part of, that it was like-minded women and like women that I can see, that I can identify with. I was on YouTube all day, all night, looking to see whatever else I can find about it, which we learned that this process is not you pay your money and I see you on pageant day.
Right.
That's not the process. The process is you pay your finances, and because of that finance that you pay, you receive the ability to learn and grow with yourself throughout this journey and connect with like-minded women about empowering in inspirational ways that we do. And the number one thing that our pageant do is serve the community. Fashion is not in that description. It just so happened to be a part of the process. Right. And because our pageant has been in the fashion industry, because Miss Teresa Papa Randolph started out doing a lot of fashion, and she didn't see the plus community being elevated like it should have been. 5 years into her 25th year, so her 25th year, here comes a woman who's like, oh my God, I can see something happening here. Perugia, then that's the development of North Carolina. Then Tiara, then myself, Sadiq, Latoya, this story go on. But it grew to be more so about the ability to develop a sisterhood. And in order to do that, there are things that you have to do, i.e. spend time with each other.
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to be this woman's sister and I know nothing about her? I have no idea. I don't know nothing about her, but I'm going to call her sis all day. But I don't know her, you know. And I think that people come in and not understanding that it's important for us to make sure you have the tools. So going back to the workshop, I don't think a lot of women are expecting to have detailed workshops like we have.
Right.
I know that in our organization, most of us have a health and beauty workshop. Most of us, you know, have the finances that we talk about. We talk about the walk, the clothing you need to wear. We talk about the importance of a platform. And we don't only talk about it, we provide you the tools to be able to be successful in those things that we talk about. Tell me some of the feedback that you have received when it came to understanding, like, oh my God, I got assignments. I got to do a whole workshop. What is this? What are you talking about? What, huh? Tell me about some of the feedback that was received because of the perception that they only needed to sign up and show up on pageant day. Start with you, LaToya.
Well, for me, most people know that, look, I require the proper shapewear. Like, you have to be, I don't care about what if you outside of the pageant world, you will be snatched. So a lot of the ladies that come to me, they have never put on any type of shapewear or a proper bra, some of them. And I have had a lot of them come back and be like, thank you. I look a whole lot better. I would have never known. Nobody ever showed me the proper things to wear to make me look smoother or look more presentable in my clothes. Because I always say, I mean, yeah, we plus size, but we can be very, 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 very presentable in the world. We don't have to be looking like a busted can of biscuits. My girls know that. I tell them that all the time. No busted can of biscuits around me, baby.
You know, when you talk about the busted can of biscuits, that's also because some women don't know how to dress their body type.
Right.
That's what I was about to say.
Because I'm a little different, baby. I'm not dying in this pageant dress. I'm not dying. Sorry. I love y'all, but I ain't dying. So when it comes to the proper fit on your dresses, you do not want to start a pageant and say, oh, I'm gonna fit on that dress before the pageant get here. No, ma'am. Do not buy a dress that way, sweethearts. Don't do it because you're going to disappoint yourself. Perusia, I know in your time of being a director, you have also dealt with but I didn't know that. And you have gave them tons of information. Let's talk about the fact that you provide the information and you get that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I know that not everyone has as in-depth pageant packet. I have 19 pages of pageant information. And I know that it's a lot of information. And then the expectation is that you're going to read it because obviously it was for good reason. And then sometimes I even go over the information and reiterate stuff, but fortunately this year I haven't had that many problems. So I can honestly say my 15 girls are doing amazing and I haven't had to reiterate too much a lot of the information, but we provide you with information. I mean, all the information is spelled out, sometimes we adjust it accordingly depending on the needs at that particular time. But with me anyway. And we reiterate and we try to give you advance notice so that you're prepared. Like, say, for instance, right now we are in the middle of doing interviews right before we get into our pageant for in 2 weeks. And a lot of that information was already set out. Unfortunately, I did have somebody today that could not make it. So that kind of, I'm like, the information is already set out. Why didn't you tell me this in advance? But at the end of the day, what can you do? I mean, if you want to be a delegate of any one of our divisions, read the information. It is readily available. Ask questions. If you don't know, we will make sure that you know. Reading is fundamental.
Well, I know at DMV, our very first workshop, our delegate packet is read line for line.
Right.
Line for line. Like literally, it's a sit down. I'm reading this package along with the mentors and the delegates that are part of the pageant. For there will not be a point where you will say, in my mind, I think it wouldn't be, but you know.
Right.
A point in my mind when it says, I didn't understand that. But if you didn't understand it, we have an open door for you to say what you need or how something wasn't translated properly for you. Because let's not make it seem like that we're not human. We are human. We make mistakes. And if we made a mistake and you caught that mistake, that is also a part of being a leader. You got to be also be able to accept constructive criticism too. Because baby, you ain't perfect.
That's right.
You're not perfect. You have developed some things and it may need to be adjusted based on, like you said, depending on the year, depending on the delegates that you have that year or what's going on. I mean, there is some things that's set in stone. Tiara, I know for this year, you had to wait a long time to get to where you needed to be for pageant this year. Mm-hmm. And your women came in with the perception that they was going to have a pageant in a couple of months. How did you address to the reality of them have to wait as long as they had to wait for that day, for the day, the pageant day?
Well, I think adjusting to it was the hardest part because, again, there was the reality that it was out of our hands. It wasn't anything that we could possibly do. So that goes back to showing your commitment to the process and commitment to yourself throughout the entire process. And I will say those ladies, they waited a very, very, very long time. And no one, of course, you have those times where you want to give up. But anytime they felt like they wanted to get up, they got up and they kept pushing. So I think it was just adjusting to the reality of it that, we wasn't able to have our pageant on the original date as we expected to.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that, and this can also go for you too, Sadiqa, that the bond that the girls made while waiting throughout this process helped them get to the finish line?
Absolutely. At the end of the day, even though they had to wait that extra period of time, their bond was unbreakable. They spoke to each other every single day, all day, to the point where, hey, I'm gonna ask you a question, then you ask me a question for that Q&A. I didn't have to do it; they did it on their own. And when one person was like, "Well, I just want to go back to the place where I sent them for their shapewear. Well, can you go with me?" It became that type of bond where they were communicating with each other. Not saying they were leaving me out. Yeah, tell me about it, but they were doing stuff amongst each other to get themselves ready for that day. Because at the end of the day, they didn't care who won because they all won.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And that's when the sisterhood part come in there, right there, Sadiqa, mm-hmm. Because that's why it's important for those who come into this process to know that the bond is a big part of this process. And what you're getting out of this is that there's an opportunity for bigger opportunities after the pageant, because if you do not take advantage of some of the things that you will learn and grow from. First of all, if you're not willing to grow, you're not going to get anything out of this process. You're going to pay your money. You're going to show up on pageant day. You're going to wear your little outfits and you're going to go about your business.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. But I can tell you that it's a true statement that it can be seen of who put what into something.
Right.
It can be seen on how much dedication that you put into this process. You think you're going to get up there and the judges are just going to be like, oh, okay. All right, baby. They're going to be looking at everything because you know what? The sister that came before you or after you who put in the work is going to show.
Right.
It's going to show. Her T-stand is going to be at that 12-3, okay? Not that 12-1, Okay. She's going to know how to speak clearly. She's going to also know how to walk and return. She's going to also show them I'm a whole package. You ain't just getting something, you're getting everything. And my goal as a director, and I'm sure it's all of you goal, to make the judge's job really hard.
Of course.
I need to make your job hard. You know why? Because I want to sit back and say, whoever win, I'm good. Okay? Whoever become my queen or queens, I'm good, because I know that all of them put in the necessary time that was required to represent us as a unit.
Right.
And you cannot represent a unit if you don't know what's in that unit, people. Right. Okay. The perception. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Peru.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, and that is something that I am reflecting on right now. That I'm glad that I don't sit in the judge's position, because this year my girls are phenomenal. They have just really done such an amazing job, and they're speaking well, they're practicing, everything. They're all full packages, and I'm glad I'm not in the judge's position. So I wholeheartedly understand what you're saying there.
Yeah, let's talk about, here's another thing. This is really where it's getting me at. When you talk to women and you tell them what is expected, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I know in our area, I give them literally 2 weeks to make a decision if they want to commit to this process or not. Because this process, as a pageant girl, no matter what system you're going to, you're going to spend some money. There is some financial obligations. You're going to go in with a lot of people rooting you on, but you might end up standing by yourself. Can you handle that? You also going to know that you are going to do that roller coaster ride that we just all talked about. But my analogy with the roller coaster ride, when you get on that roller coaster and that ride gets too wild for you, can you get off? You can't get off. You got to finish that ride out, sweetheart. You're going to be screaming and hollering until the end. But guess what you did? You finished that ride out.
That's right.
You have no choice. You have no choice. But you do have a choice to what you want to put your time into. But we're trying to tell you in the beginning, it's a roller coaster. We already told you about the ride. Welcome to the Miss Full Figure ride.
That's right.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So another thing that while we're talking about it, I think that sometimes the ladies that come, they deal with, sometimes family members may give up on you. You, like you said, you may come with people that you think have your back. And then when you go through the process, people turn their backs on you. And
right.
then, we have to, because we're a sisterhood, and before we're a director, we're still there. We're still a woman, and we're still their sisters as well. So, we always have to comfort those and just making sure that they have the never giving up, because that's hard when you feel like you have a lot of people that's supposed to support you throughout the process, and then they give up on you for whatever reasons, and sometimes you just don't understand. But I know it throughout my process, I'm like, always just keep going. All I do is say, just keep pushing and pray about it.
I love that. I love that you bring that up, because that's another perception versus reality. The perception is that when you told everybody, they was like, oh God, they're going to be there for me through the whole time. This is the perception you received, right? And then the reality kicks in and you like, oh, well, you said you tired of seeing me posting about my pageant?
Right.
That what you just told me? Or I asked you about my speech and can you listen to me speak? And you like, I don't feel like listening to you right now. You got to be willing to be like, okay, I'll say my speech to myself in this mirror.
Right.
You got to be willing to be ready to push through. The commitment and the dedication it takes to be in this process, we never told you it will be easy. You would never hear me say, girl, this is going to be so easy. It's going to be easy. No, ma'am. Anything worth the victory is worth the work. If we was a football team ladies, because let's think about it. If we had to compare ourselves to football, it's other pageant systems out there, right?
Right.
Right.
Okay, Miss Teresa, our quarterback. We're not going to let her fall. You ain't getting to make this system fall. So in order for us to do that, we have to work on what we need to do to be as a team to collectively grow, right? That's how we do in our own individual practices in our division. So in order for you to be a part of this team, you got to learn the ins and outs of it, my love.
Right.
You can't come in it thinking you can get through it without knowing about it.
That's right.
Right.
It's necessary. And if we get tackled, we can get back up. And the only
Right.
thing I like about football is the pants that the men wear. I don't know nothing about football.
I love football.
Well,
I'm
the
a
thing
football
that
director.
the thing that I think about when we on the state level is that, you know, even though you're competing against people within your state, when you go to nationals, it's a whole different, you're competing against people you've never even met before, you know? So if we're giving you all the tools to be successful, take heed. Because when you go to nationals, it's a whole different ball game up there, you know? It really is. I mean, the step up is so necessary, you know?
None of us going in there, let's just talk about it. None of us going in there to say, we're going to lose. We're going to lose, boo. No, all of us is going in with the mindset is that we want to come away with the crown. But
Right.
we also going in with the mindset, because I know I tell the women and the queens of the DMV area, when you walk into any establishment, any situation, you hold your head up high. And when you leave it, your head needs to still be high, regardless of the results of what you just dealt with.
Yeah.
Okay? And not only that, listen, honey, why go in any other way? If you go in defeated, you usually come out defeated. Doesn't make sense. But that doesn't mean I'm taking away from my sisters from the other states. I don't sleep on nobody, and including myself. Okay? We don't sleep on nobody. But it's a difference between confidence and cockiness. Confidence and cockiness. You know, you have some women who come in who are so cocky that they lose their confidence because they didn't trip themselves up over their cockiness.
Right.
I'm sure, Latoya, you down there with the peach honey, you got a lot of people down there that think that they the queen of the crop down there, I'm sure. Because that's the new Hollywood. That's the new Hollywood. In Alabama. By the way, congratulations on competing your first year in Alabama.
Yes.
Awesome. Let's give you a hand clap on that, sister. Congratulations on that. But let's talk about them Georgia peaches down there, sweetheart. I know you deal with some divas.
All right. Yeah, the Georgia peaches, they are, yeah. Just understand, most people that come to Georgia or most of the people in Georgia are not from Georgia. So they already feel like they got to come in and be aggressive to get far anyway. You know, they want to be in acting and all these different things. So it's like, I have to deal with that. They've done so many fashion shows and they've been on Tyler Perry shows and all this kind of stuff. And then here they come to pageantry and I'm like, all right, now I got to shake you. Because they come in real cocky. They come in real cocky. And then I'll be like, all right, that cocky going to kill you in the end. And I've had some to tone it down and come out great. And I've had some that bombed because they didn't listen.
That's another thing, listening to what you say. I didn't had a delegate go rogue on the runway. And I was just like,
Right.
I don't know. And then what happens afterwards, they come and they say, I don't understand how I lost. I don't understand what went wrong. Baby, watch the tape.
And
to me, I tell them my story. I tell them my story. I ain't gonna lie. I did go in a little cocky because I know I was the only one that was in modeling. And I was like, all I gotta do is come through here with my fabulous outfit or whatever. Oh, but when it was time to talk, I choked. I know I cried behind stage before it came for a day where I was back there hyperventilating and they looking at me like, not you. Yes, me. About to die. Then I know my question, it was the easiest question ever, and I ain't even explained it completely. I used my story. I'm like, baby, my gown, I spent money on my gown. My gown was amazing. Got the easiest question. How do you rate yourself from 1 to 10? And explain why. And I got up there 10 plus more.
And all I can do is look at her like, wait, what?
And I walked down the runway. I was like, baby, these feathers are gonna speak for themselves on this runway.
He did do that. That's true.
Then I was like, wait a minute, I forgot the rest of the. Okay, this is done. So I use my story and I tell my girls, don't go out there cocky, just don't do it, because it's more than just coming out there looking amazing. They're gonna be listening to what's coming out your mouth.
Right.
So focus on the whole thing and not just the one part. So
Yeah.
The same as you. When I competed in 2013, I used my story to tell them, you know what, this is not a fashion show. Okay. When I competed in 2013, you couldn't tell me I was not on somebody's runway giving face, honey. Okay. I mean, it was, it was bad. And I look back at it and I'm just like, woo, I'm thankful for that experience, because now I know what to tell my girls. Hey, it's really about your smile. It's not about if you can give the fiercest face. Anybody, listen, I can give a fierce face, honey. But at the end of the day, it's really all about that smile and that energy. That's what people and judges feed off of, But you got to pay attention to what we're telling you. We're not going to tell you nothing wrong because we've all been through it. Every last one of us on this live right now has been through Miss Fulford USA in some way, shape, or form.
And nobody can tell you.
We can't tell you no other way.
Yeah, exactly. Like one thing that I was trying to make sure I tell someone, everything you need to be successful on that stage that day, you're getting it from the source.
That's right.
Because somebody from the outside, they can give you an idea. Yeah, come on, you can take a couple of lessons. I mean, even dancers, they don't always see the same instructor. If you want to see somebody for some work, I can't tell you can't. I can't tell you they won't be beneficial for you. But I'm going to tell you the foundation need to come from what you're going through.
That's right.
If you're not using that foundation, then you're putting money into something that's not going to help you. Right. So if I go to a coach and say, hey, coach, this is how they want me to walk. I need you to make sure I look like that. That's different than going to someone and say, I need to walk how you think the best way I need to walk. Baby, that's not how we telling you what it needs to look like. Right. And you get up there and it don't look that way, and you wonder why the judges have not scored you the way that you felt you should have been scored. You know what I mean? But again, the perception that I also deal with is when it comes to things that are not required. I don't have to do it. I don't care. I don't have to do it. But when you look at a situation, some things are put in place just to see how much you will do without you being pushed into it.
Right.
Because I don't know about all of you, but me, I can't have time to not have a queen that can't think on her own 2 feet. That needs me to say every moment, you should be doing this. You should be doing that. I need to look up and see that she's able to fly and be a leader, because now you're a leader of what this organization stands for. You're there with me. This is what we do now. Your representation. Ladies, let's talk about anything else that you feel that's been a very big perception of the pageant process. Sadiqa, do you have anything that you feel like is a big perception versus the reality of it, of the pageant process?
Lord help me. So, when you feel you can do talent, I'm not saying you're not talented. You don't have talent. But what you do in your shower is for you, not for everybody.
Whew, that is
You
a touchy subject.
So, and you get upset when your peers or family members be like, baby, you shouldn't do that. And you still go out and say, I want to put my money towards this, but you know in your heart you're not Beyonce. You don't have a B in me.
So I'm gonna clean this up for my sister. What she's saying
Please
is,
do.
what she's saying is, be honest with yourself.
Right.
Put yourself in a light of positivity and put yourself in positions that you have an opportunity to flourish in. Not to just be doing it to be doing it.
Right.
That's what my sister's trying to say there. I swear. However, she's very direct. If you can't sing, don't get up on the mic. That's what she's saying. If you can't dance, baby, go ahead and sit on down. But again, that's another thing where though, and that's another thing that people need to understand within our pageant system. Talent is not required to win the big crown.
Right.
No.
It is a separate entity, and it's in the crown in its own. So if it's something that you don't necessarily have a rap on, you don't necessarily have to do it.
Right.
Again, learning the reality of your process versus the perception of your process. Because some people think that every scene that we have requires to go into the scoring for the main crown, when that's not the case.
Right.
When it's not the case at all. And if they understand that, my motto was when I competed, when we talk about competing, baby, I knew I could dance, but I wasn't doing talent because I was like, I'm not doing a full routine and gassing out. I'm sorry, this wasn't going to be me. But far as the things that I felt that I was going to excel in, I went on and went into those things. And let me just tell you, was I devastated when my name was a call for the main crown? Of course, who wouldn't be? But baby, you couldn't tell me nothing when they called my name for Miss Full Figure Swimwear, sweetheart. I was like, boo, this is the confidence crown. I got this crown. You couldn't tell me nothing. To be honest with you, you couldn't tell me nothing by completing the process, because that in itself is a victory.
Right.
Is a victory. But the point is to make sure you complete. You can't have behind this process. It's not going to look good and it ain't going to be well. And let's just talk about it. When you come in, check. And I'm going to say it again. You know there's financial responsibilities to this pageant. Do you have issues along the way when months come now? Yes. Should you communicate? Yes. Because at the end of the day, pageantry is still a business. I am not going to sugarcoat that.
Right.
Because this pageant do not go on by me sprinkling sugar and candy canes on the runway. It goes on by you investing in a process and me giving you back your investment by showing you how much I'm going to do for you and actually doing it.
Right.
And not just saying it. And I know that's the objective of all of us. But the main reason for this particular live that I felt that needed to happen is the perception that you can come into a pageantry world with a one-track mind and let it be done. That's not where it's going to be at, sis.
Right.
The perception that you can come in, you can sign up and you can show up on pageant day without going through everything you need to go through. to get prepared for that day and think you're going to be successful, that's not where it's going to be at, sis.
Right.
The fact that you think you're going to get around a lot of women and don't spend the time with them to build a relationship and actually give them an opportunity and think you're going to come out with people who support you, that's not where it's going to be at, sis. Realizing that you actually have to do some work, attend workshops to learn the basics, the fundamentals, and how to be successful in this thing, the time, because you know what? Time is money on all of our part.
Right.
If you don't do that and you still think you're going to be all right, that's not where it's going to be at, sis. I think I want to make sure I give each of us an opportunity to leave this live by getting a piece of advice to a woman who's thinking about going into pageantry. I sound like this because I'm so passionate about our journeys that we set forth for these women. Some of us are mothers and wives. We all have full-time jobs as well. We have our own extracurricular lives that we're trying to make sure we keep going at as well. But within all of that, we have took on the responsibility to be directors, which means that we have subjected ourselves to people coming into our lives that we have to be cautious to make sure that we giving them exactly what's necessary for them to be successful.
Right.
And all we asking is for you to come in, understanding what you're getting into, baby. Miss Tiara, you want to give these ladies a piece of advice?
The advice that I would give is just if you were to enter into a pageant, it goes back to what Ms. Ross was saying. Just do your research and know exactly what you're getting into, because it is a lot of work and it's hard at times. And throughout the process, never lose sight of anything that you're doing. Always do things 1,000%, not just for the brand, not just for your director, but for yourself. Always keep your integrity, no matter what the situation is. Never, ever, ever lose that at all.
Thank you, Director Tiara. Director Sadiqa, you want to give them a piece of advice?
Coming in, keep an open mind. Take heed to everything that we're teaching you, showing you, because like you said, at the end of the day, we take time away from our lives as well. Time we can't get back. Money you're putting into this, get your money's worth. At the end of the day, we don't want you to feel like I just paid for something and I'm not getting anything at the end. Don't feel as though someone is paying for a crown. You're not paying for it. You have to earn it.
Right.
You have to earn it. If you don't want to put in the work, you're not going to get it. You know? So I say come in with an open heart, open mind, and just put in the work and the time and keep that communication open between me, you, and your mentor, because we're all here to help. And if we don't have the answer, we'll get the answer to you.
Yes, ma'am. Director LaToya, piece of advice to a woman who wants to come into the Miss Full Figure USA process.
What I like for women to remember and keep in the back of their mind in any situation, in any pageant process, anything, the crown is a plus, not necessarily a must. You can be great and go far without even winning that physical crown. Remember, right. You already have a crown. Continue to be amazing before, during, and after the whole process. That's all I got.
It was short and sweet and cute.
That's
Go
it.
ahead. Director Perusia.
First, I want to apologize. My phone was about to die, and that's why I was doing a whole lot of fiddling around. But the thing is, when you come into pageantry, I think the biggest takeaway that I feel should be shared is that understanding and knowing your worth through the process as well. If you come into the pageant a little bit broken, hopefully through our sisterhood, you'll be able to get some healing. Okay. But if you know that you are just absolutely broken, this might not be the opportunity for you. I think that, our goal is to always empower, inspire the women that come through our pageant system. But at the end of the day, we also want to be able to give you the tools to be successful, but you already have to have some of those things within you already, but enjoy the process. Don't think you always have it in the bag. Because you don't have it in the bag. Somebody, let me tell you something. This is the last thing I'm gonna say about this. When I'll use Miss Christian as an example, Christian Peterson, she was Miss Full Figure North Carolina Plus 2017. We did not literally see her until prelim day. And we were like, oh my God, where did she come from? You know what I'm saying? Like, she was always very quiet and very, demure and just to herself. And when she showed up on prelim day, her whole personality, her whole energy changed, of course, in a positive way, and you don't know who that silent killer is, so don't always think that you have it in the bag, but at the same time, keep everything in perspective. At the end of the day, it's only going to be one winner in each category. At the end of the day, there's other opportunities within the pageant process. And we encourage you to get involved in those things, because if you have a talent, go ahead and display your talent. If you are the fashionista of all fashionistas, like Miss Latoya Francois, then, you come out there with your fabulous garb. Enjoy the process, but also think about it from, we don't want you to use your rent money to be a part of this process.
Mm-hmm.
Save. If you know that this is something that you want to do and you don't have it right now, then save your money.
Wait.
Don't go above and beyond your means. And then this is a hobby. We want so much more from our girls, but this is a hobby. And we want you to know that we're here for you and we're going to try to elevate you, but we don't want you to lose your home over it either. But anyway, all this to say, have fun, have a great time, save your money, know that this is an investment in yourself as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
all good things. So I also want to say that I have seen when women have come in with the perception of this is going to be easy, I'm a model, I can get through it. And then they learn differently, and then they start appreciating their quest, their journey. My
right.
Queen Chrissy stated that this is a quest, let alone necessarily just the journey itself. So I want to applaud those who opened their mind after they realized this is a little bit different than what I perceived it to be. Right. And then they said, oh, I'm going to dive head into this and make sure that I get out of this what I can get out of this. Right. Because although I thought it was one thing and it's something different, they took and said, oh, okay, let me adjust my thought process. And they took advantage of the opportunities and still taking advantage of the opportunities that they are receiving from being a part of a pageant process. Ladies, my first thing would be saying, now this is a little different for Miss Lorraine. Miss Lorraine looked into this as an opportunity to get around more women to make sure I already understand that saying I can't get along with women is all a choice. It's a choice.
Right.
My choice was to get along with women, learn about women, and be able to build new relationships. So it became a passion for me. Then that passion became a lifestyle. So you will notice when you go through a pageant and you're a pageant girl, it's a certain way you start to walk, honey. I don't walk without a little grace in my walk, no matter whether I'm going to the bathroom at home or outside to the grocery store.
Right.
When I smile at people, even though it's one of the things that I have the hardest job doing because I have some insecurities about it and I talk about it, but you will see me smiling and people be like, your smile is so pretty though. In my eyes, I still have some work to do. But it's all about how you allow yourself to grow from the inside for it can reflect on the outside. And then you're right. You all walk away victoriously because we already accomplished something bigger and better. Now, I'm not to say don't go after that piece of jewelry, honey, because we all want that piece of jewelry because that jewelry look good. Okay, it look good. Because after I did not win my year and I won swimwear, I was like, oh, my crown is cute. It's cute. It's real cute. And then I got the opportunity to get 7 inches on my head. I was like, that's what was for me. Sometimes what you think is for you is not for you.
Right.
That doesn't mean your journey was worthless. So when you go into something like pageantry, do your research first, ladies. Ask the appropriate questions to make sure that you're getting to something that is good for you, inner and outer. It's a necessity to make sure that whatever you invest in is going to give you back a return. If it's not going to give you back a return, that it's not necessary for you to invest in. If you want to be a part of a pageant system and it's just not for you, find a young lady who is in the pageant system and sponsor her. Go to the pageant, support the pageant. They do a community event. Show up at the community event. But make sure if you decide to do this, you do your necessary research and be ready to fully commit to this process because there's no need for you to waste time in your life because you can't get it back.
Right.
It's your most valuable asset. All right, ladies, this has been amazing. I loved it. I love Shane. I hope you love being here with me. It's first of all, let me just bask in the glory of my sisters because I haven't seen them in a while in their faces and stuff. I talk to them though. Y'all cute. Y'all so cute. Just cute. I love seeing y'all. I appreciate that when I called, everybody was like, let's do this. We can do this because we can drop some gems for some woman who is definitely anticipating or on a fence, or a woman who's actually in the process right now and need a little bit more understanding on what the process is supposed to look like in certain eyes. You know what I mean? And what we're looking for. I know we're all working on our next step. And before we end, Tiara, tell everyone how they can follow you and follow the pageant. You muted.
Sorry. You can follow the Miss Full Figure USA Louisiana pageant page on Facebook. And you can also follow Miss Full Figure USA Texas on Facebook as well.
Thank you, my beautiful sister.
You're welcome.
Sadiqa.
You can follow Miss Full Figure USA on Facebook as well as on Instagram. And you can also follow me on Facebook under Princess D. And just find all the information you need on pageant.
You're actually doing auditions right now for your 2021 season, correct?
Absolutely. We just did our first in person last weekend. And on May 15th, we're doing a virtual. So we had some pretty good girls that came out. And just see where it goes.
I'm excited. So
Wonderful.
If you didn't hear that, you want to make sure that you hear that. Miss Full Figure New Jersey on Facebook is having auditions soon. So stay tuned to that if you in the New Jersey area. All right, Director LaToya, tell us how they can follow you, dear heart.
Okay, you can follow Miss Full Figure Georgia and Miss Full Figure Alabama on Facebook. You can also follow Miss Full Figure Georgia and Alabama on Instagram.
Wonderful. And you also are auditioning for your next season too, correct, for Georgia?
Georgia is over. We've already started our process to get them ready for August.
Come
Wonderful.
on. Come on. That's all right. We'll see you in August. You know, I'll see you in August. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, Director Perugia.
Miss Full Figure North Carolina Pageant on Facebook, Instagram, Miss Full Figure South Carolina Pageant on Facebook and Instagram, Miss Full Figure Virginia Pageant on Facebook and Instagram, and of course me, Mrs. Parisha Jones Sharon on Facebook.
Wonderful. Ladies, I simply adore you in 101 different ways. You can follow Lorraine Ross on Facebook. You can follow Miss Full Figure DMV Pageant on Facebook, IG, and YouTube. Boo, subscribe to the YouTube. Y'all see I bring out a little bit of my native language. Boo. But Queen, you can follow us and you can follow our national brand at Miss Full Figure USA. It's been a delightful evening, ladies. I am going to say good night and bid you well. I know, Ms. Perugia, just before we let you go, your pageant is literally in a couple of weeks. Yes. And we do know that it's sold out because of the restrictions due to COVID. And you want to follow the North Carolina page because you might get an opportunity to buy a virtual ticket. So you want to be supportive to the process, support. She will have things posted about that. And if not, trust me, we'll find a way to include our community into being able to support those young ladies while doing a pageant. And also you have the Miss
NC Royal Teen Pageant.
Royal Teen Pageant.
Yes, that's going to be the Sunday. So I'm going to be absolutely exhausted, I'm sure, because it'll be the 14th and 15th for North Carolina and Virginia, and then the 16th for the teen pageant. So it's going to be a pageant-filled weekend for sure.
And I'm going to say it public. You can have them teens, girl. I can't do it. I had three girls. My youngest girl is 20 years old. Ain't no way. I give you grace and praise on that, baby, because no. But I understand there's a bigger purpose there. You saw the need and you addressed it. So that says a lot about you, sweetheart, and good luck on that, especially with it being your launch to that.
The inaugural. Yes.
The inaugural. I love it. I absolutely love it. Ladies, I'm going to say bye.
Bye.
Good night, everyone. Almost
love you guys so much. Have an amazing evening.
Oh, love you. Oh, this is cool. I got to kick them out, y'all, because this is how this works. Sorry. I don't want to do it. I did it.
I'm still here. Hey, y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, and if we had a few gentlemen on here, I want to thank you for joining us this evening for Conversations with My Sister, hosted by me, Lorraine Coleman Ross, the director of the Miss Full Figure DMV pageant. I tell you, we have dropped some gems tonight. There's some clarity that has been put in place and some understanding that we just want to make sure everybody have when you are making a decision whether or not you wanted to be a part of the Miss Full Figure USA national brands. We are definitely a brand that's continuing to grow. And the more we grow, we welcome you into our space. We welcome you into our world. But do know the brand motto is size, have no barrier on beauty. And that's because we live by that. We live by empowering the woman next to us, being inspirational to all those around us, and serving our community. With that said, I'm going to leave you with just a little bit thing. Follow our YouTube page. And my ending announcement is the Miss Full Figure DMV 5th anniversary Rise of the Queen pageant. Our tickets start on sale May 1st. Baby, don't sleep on this event. We are giving you glam. It is a formal affair. That means no sportswear, no jeans. Everyone will receive the ticket. Will give you a sit-down dinner while the show is proceeding. You also have the vendors lounge. Oh, it's just going to be amazing. So stay tuned to us, because when those tickets go on sale, baby, you want to be the first to purchase, because they are going to be limited. And on June 30th, the ticket sales price will go up. So look out for that. Have a good evening. And remember, if no one told you that they love you, Director Lorraine does. Good night.